Whether you're using the sewing side or the embroidery side of the Singer SE9180, it is crucial that you are putting the bobbin in correctly. So I'm going to just clarify a few things that we are always asked about drop-in bobbin machines. Which way is correct? You do have a 50-50 shot, but truly you have to put it in this certain way. Did you know that when you wind a bobbin, that the way it actually winds on the top of your machine, so I'm going to just pretend that it's sitting on the top of your machine, it is just finished winding, and you pull up off the little spindle, it is exactly the correct way to bring it down here and drop it into the bobbin area. So the thread needs to be coming off the left side. So see how that is spinning, and it's going to spin, you might say counterclockwise. That's also this little picture right here that is engraved into the front of the machine. You will see a little reminder, so every time that is the way you want to double check that it's going in correctly. And I will tell you, yes, it can go in upside down, but what's going to happen is you're going to get some odd stitches, maybe a thread break. It'll just be weird stuff that happens, and it'll be very inconsistent. You'll be like, what's wrong? And then you realize you have your bobbin in upside down. Okay, once you put it in, there is a tension area that the bobbin thread actually feeds in. Now you can't see it on this machine because this little finger, this gray area, is covering it up. Now on this little gray finger there is an arrow pointing for me to follow and place the thread in this groove and go up and over this little hump down here where the little cutter is. So it's super easy, but let me show you a trick that always helps. So one thing you can do is you can just kind of pull up on this and watch. It's going to flip over the top of the bobbin, and then it will easily glide under that little finger. Now, put your finger on the bobbin so it's tight and pull. You'll actually hear a little click, and that's the part you can't see, but you can tell that your thread has been inserted into the bobbin tension. Now this has a little tiny resistance now, and that is correct. So now all you need to do is follow that around, and if you pull to the right, it cuts the thread to the perfect length. So nice these days with machines like this, you don't even have to bring that bobbin thread up. So if you remember doing that on other machines where you're holding this and taking a stitch to get that thread to come up, now you don't even need to do that. All you need to do is put your fabric in and step on your foot control, and that first couple stitches, that's why it does a little locking stitch, is to make sure that the thread gets brought up correctly. Let's touch the scissor button, and then we can kind of see that the thread is cut, but also take a look that you don't see any bobbin thread. It has been cut to that length again, so when you go to sew, it pulls it up once again. All right, on the back, when you use the little cutter, you do get the little tails back here. Now, I did not do any locking stitch or back stitching, which we would with the button right above here, is for locking that off. But I could cut those close and usually be fine if there was another like seam coming across that. But when you put your bobbin in correctly, that makes all the difference with this machine. And if things have gone wrong, just unthread this, take it out, drop it in again, and hook it into that tension area. Just in case that had come out and you were getting some loops or something, that will make sure that that is corrected. The other thing you need to do is make sure you watch the cleaning and maintenance video that we have. What we're going to do is we're going to take off this silver throat plate, so we're loosening up both these screws, removing this and cleaning out down below. So there's a bobbin case that the bobbin sits in. And that's where all the lint goes. So we do find that your fluffier fabrics, your fleeces and flannels, that lint all gathers down below and in this little basket. So if you're having troubles, that too needs to be attended to. All you need is a brush it out. Just don't use canned air. We're not going to blow it in. We're actually going to brush it out. So just make sure that you keep this area lint free and keep an eye on it, because we do a lot of sewing with linty things. Fabric is linty, so get in every so often. I usually recommend every 3 to 5 bobbins. Clean out underneath here, and that will make a big difference. Okay, double check that you're putting your bobbin in correctly, and also make sure you're always using the Singer clear bobbins in this machine. If you're looking for more bobbins, there's a link below in the description where you can get a whole handful of bobbins super cheap. Happy sewing!